Hi, it's Peter Parker from UpStanding Kids. As an osteopath, I'm just always surprised by how many parents never get the chance or never take the time to have a look at their own kids and how they're growing. And it's through no fault of their own, but it's always a surprise to them when I stand with the parent and have a look at the child. So I thought it was worthwhile today actually having a look at the kids, which you might be able to apply a few of the tools at home to see how your kids are growing. And I do it all in the context of UpStanding Kids and helping us to realise that sitting is a real problem and is an epidemic. They're sitting 80% of their day and we really need to bring that percentage way down. Standing desks in the schools is a way to do it. So let's have a look at Grace. Relax your arms. This is Gracie, who's 7. You want to turn around and say hi?
Hello.
So Gracie's going to help us out today. Matilda's riding around somewhere, my 4-year-old. She'll be adding a bit of sparkle to the production. But let's have a look at Grace. So the first thing to do really is look at them from behind. Good place to start is at the feet. So look at their feet. Look at if they're straight. Look at if they're turned out. If they're turned out, then often the tightness can be coming from the hips. Now I should say, often this will follow hereditary or genetic patterns. And you know, you're not going to change that. That's who they are, but you can minimise the effect of that strain pattern as they grow into the adulthood, which is the idea of the standing desks in schools. So look at their feet, look and see if they've got flat feet, look and see if they've got arches. They develop up until the age of 5 and 6. Look at the curve of their Achilles. See if their Achilles is straight or if it has a little bit of a curve. Now Gracie's got flat feet, she always has had flat feet and they are getting better, but she has got a little bit of a curve. Grace's, then you look at her, the line of her shirt or her pants. Normally I'd have them down to underwear and a singlet, but for modesty and privacy, obviously Gracie's still got her clothes. So have a look at that. Have a look at the shoulder blade heights, shoulder heights, earlobe heights. See if one's lower than the other. See if one's rotated. Look at the line of the spine. If there's any sort of curvature there, it could be what we call a scoliosis. Don't be afraid to put the hands on. Put the hands on top of the hips. See if one's higher than the other. Put the hands underneath the point of the shoulder blades, on top of the shoulders, under the earlobes. Don't be afraid to have a look. Before you start, stand back and look. Get them to take a few breaths. See where their muscles activate. See whether they're breathing just here or they breathe down here, which is what we want. Grace, can you turn side on, love? Keep going more and more and more and more, about there. And then we look at her from side on, okay? What we ideally want is a straight line, what we call a centre of gravity, ear, shoulder, point of hip, top of fibula. Look at that line and see if there's any distortion. Gracie naturally carries her head forward, so she's a bit predisposed to tightness through her neck, through her pecs, maybe a bit weak through her shoulder blades, and then she carries a sway through her lower back. And again, we put this probably down to my and my wife's genetics. We're a bit prone to that. So it's something we have to watch with Grace. So you can see if they're developing any patterns or torsional strains as they grow. Now the main reason we're talking about all this is that if children were able to avoid the epidemic of sitting, then these strain patterns can really be minimised. If they do sit growing up for 80% of their time, then they can be in trouble. When they sit, they tighten up so much through their hip flexors in front and their hip capsule, so they're never really soft through the front, which means they tend to tilt the pelvis, load the knees, load the ankles. So we're trying to avoid that via standing. Hopefully you've seen some of the other reasons why on the website and with other videos, but this is just to give you a few tips. Take the time, stand the kids up, have a look at them, don't be afraid to put the hands on, and see what you think is happening, and you'll start to get an idea of how your child's growing. By all means, take them to an allied health specialist, an osteopath or anyone else similar, but if you want to make real impact, start to talk to your school, start to put in the idea of standing desks, which of course can go in your home as well, and it'll be a fantastic initiative to change the way they grow, affect their short-term, but affect their long-term health as an adult. And that's what we're all about. So let's get UpStanding Kids growing one desk at a time. Okay? Thanks. Bye.